Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, prop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. On in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light. Hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat, come on in and hit that light. Hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet, let's sip some tea. Sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Don't talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. From the jokes to the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. That's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. You know you're in a house. Come on in and grab a seat. see, come on in and hit that light, hit the light. Oh, your way to Auntie Mickey's, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house. Oh.
Hold on just a second, y'all. This should work. Hey, what's up, everybody? Me and Unc's trying to figure out something here. His phone ain't getting no Wi-Fi, y'all. Okay, there it goes. It's on now. Okay. Yeah, we lost our Wi-Fi earlier. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, we had a little lightning storm here earlier, and we lost all of our Wi-Fi. No, I'm good. So, pardon me for the distraction. But hello, everybody. Good to see y'all. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kendra. I see you, sweetie. Hello, She Paints. Hi, She Paints. How are you, beautiful? Hello, Dawn. Millionaires Cove is in the house. We got Kathy Mitchell here. There's Donna McClinton. It's so good to see everybody here. Hello, Mr. Phillips. Hello, Barbara. There's Rachel Haynes. Hello, sweetheart. Well, it's so good to see everybody here. And of course, Unc, he just jumped on. Hello, boo-boo. Glad to see you. You just got home. So anyway, good to see everybody on this wonderful Tuesday. Unfortunately, we've lost a great one today. Despite what some folks might feel, he was a great one for the movement. Oh my goodness, it was crazy when I heard about it. I was like, what? Hello, adventurous you. How are you, sweetheart? So good to see you, love. Good to see you. So yeah, I won't hold y'all long. I really won't. I got grandkids here that are trying to go to the jumpy house. And oh God, I don't know if I want to do that. But anyway, as you can tell from the title, yes, sir, I am somebody. Yes. Jesse Jackson passed away today at the age of 84. And I'm sure we all feel that loss in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, a lot of young folks, they don't trip on it. My grandkids was like, who's that? Like, what you mean, who is that? Wait a minute. You live in a black family. Don't tell me you don't know who Jesse Jackson is. But nevertheless, that's why we got to teach our kids. We can't just let them drop the ball. When somebody passes, we got to pick up that ball and keep it going. We got to keep it going. So anyway, I'm just going to get started here because, time is spent. And I don't want to hold y'all up all night. But like I said, this morning, what is today? February 17th. We learned that our civil rights leader, Jesse Jackson, passed away at the age of 84. And, whether you agree with him politically or not, there's no denying this. He was one of the most recognizable voices of the modern civil rights movement. If you don't know nothing else about that man, he was one of the leaders of the civil rights movement. Going back to a young man. I don't know too many 20s that'll do anything civilly. Not these days, at least. So, he's cut from a different cloth than young people nowadays. Young people back then were activists. We have activists now, but they don't have the passion that our civil rights leaders back then had. Nor did they have the dignity. And maybe I'm saying it wrong. I shouldn't say that. But I just got to say, hey, I'm old school. I've recognized dignity first. Now, what they do behind closed doors, that's their business. But coming out into the public and representing their people, they were down for their people. So this is not just about mourning. It's about understanding the impact. Absolutely, Mr. Phillips. They still in the dark, for real. So basically, just going to go do a little timeline here. And, like I said, I lost my Wi-Fi earlier. So if I slip up and mess up, charge it to the Wi-Fi. Because I had to throw everything back up here that I could find. I had it all set up and everything, and it just went. But anyway, Jesse Jackson, basically, he rose to national prominence during the 60s, during the civil rights movement. And many of us may not have been here at that time. I know I was. I was born in 1962. So, some of us here, we were kids, but we remember. We remember. And he worked very closely with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., particularly during the Chicago Freedom Movement. Excuse me. So after Dr. King's assassination in 1978, Jackson became one of the prominent figures to carry the torch forward. Okay, adventurous you, 72 for you. Okay. He later founded the Rainbow Push Coalition, which was I can't pronounce the word now, an organization focused on economic justice, voter registration, and political empowerment. And whether critics liked it or not, Jackson understood media. He knew how to work the media, the news. He was able to work it. He understood optics, and he understood power as well. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do you believe today's civil rights leaders carry the same visibility and influence as he did? Because we talking about Jesse, we talking about Al Sharpton, we talking about Martin Luther King, we're talking about Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. Let's not forget the females, Barbara Jordan, Shirley Chisholm. Young folk don't know nothing about that. So a lot of people don't even, well, we know, but a lot of younger people don't even understand the fact that this man ran for the presidential office twice, 1984 and 1988. He ran for the President of the United States office in 1984 and 1988. And let's be clear, this was groundbreaking. Because y'all remember John Lewis, that's right, John Lewis. He's another one. He was another one. There's so many. There's just so many that we had back then that they're gone. That fire is gone. And unfortunately, these young folks they're picking up the torch, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. That real sacrifice. They laid their lives down on the line. Nowadays, young folks, they're more concerned about their reputation than anything. So a black man running a serious presidential campaign in the 1980s was like crazy. It was crazy. It was unheard of. It was unheard of back then. Winning primaries, building multiracial coalitions, that was not symbolic, that was structural. And I don't know if you guys recall, one of the most vivid memories I have, one of the most vivid memories that I have when Obama won the presidency is they immediately turned the camera to Jesse Jackson in the audience. That man had tears streaming from his eyes. And it brought me to tears just seeing him crying, because I could identify what he'd been through, because I've watched my grandparents, my father. We were younger, but our parents represent those people. Those same people that we grew up with in the same house as us. He represented them. And to see that man in tears when Obama won the presidency, it just brought it all back home. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to get this emotional. I'm sorry. But his 1988 campaign did reshape the Democratic primary process. So some political historians argue that without Jesse Jackson, the pathway to Barack Obama decades later would have looked very, very different. And that's worth discussing. So I pose this next question. Do you think his campaigns changed American politics permanently? Or was it just a fly-by-night thing? Because it started with him in terms of running for an election of that magnitude at that time. So before I go on, let me share something with you here. Hold it. This right here is a young, oh my God, a young Jesse. Him and Martin. It says in 1966, Jesse Jackson began to lead Operation Breadbasket, a Southern Christian leadership conference program in Chicago. Often seen as Martin Luther King's protege, Jackson quickly earned a place among King's inner circle. Although King found Jackson's ambition troubling at times, SCLC Executive Vice President Andrew Young, that's another one, Andrew Young, and he's still here too. He's still alive. We got to remember these brothers. Andrew Young called Jackson a natural-born leader. Hello, Camille. Jackson was born in Greenville, South Carolina, on October 8, 1941, to an unmarried teenage mother. Jackson was both an honor student and class president in high school, and he received an athletic scholarship to the University of Illinois in 1959. He moved back to South Carolina after 1 year, however, transferring to Greensboro's North Carolina A&T College. In Greensboro, he became active in the civil rights movement, joining the local Congress of Racial Equality chapter and participating in sit-ins and demonstrations. Now, I don't know if y'all, I'm going to stop right there for a second. I don't know if y'all remember those, but I remember my grandmother telling me about those sit-ins down in Nashville. at the Woolworth counter, and they were brutal. But our kids don't get to see this kind of history. They don't see this kind of history. What not just black people, white people too, put their lives on the line. But black people were not allowed to sit at the Woolworths counter and have lunch. And these students got together and they said, bunk this. We're going to sit at this counter and you're going to serve us. And they spit on them. They threw food on them. They beat on them. You name it. They did all those things to those young people. And he was one of them. He was one of the young people that sat at those places and led those demonstrations. Aware of SCLC's work at the time, a precocious Jackson wrote King, "Dear Sir, I don't think you'll ever bring God to Albany, Georgia, for he's wise enough to wait till E equals MC square brings change there. Best of luck, though." That was from Jesse Jackson, dated August 7th, 1962. That was a month before I was born. Lord have mercy. In 1964, Jackson graduated from college and moved to Chicago on a Rockefeller grant to study at Chicago Theological Seminary. In March 1965, he organized a group of fellow students to drive down to Selma, Alabama, answering King's call for supporters of the local voting rights campaign. Half of these young folk, we can't even get them out the house to vote. They don't know how blessed they are. Before returning to Chicago, Jackson asked Ralph Abernathy, another great one, for a staff position with SCLC in order to lay the groundwork for a Chicago campaign. Although King hardly knew Jackson, he took a chance and hired him. In January 1966, King moved to Chicago to launch SCLC's Northern Movement. Jackson soon dropped out of seminary to help King full-time, becoming the Chicago coordinator of SCLC's Economic Development and Empowerment Program, Operation Breadbasket. King was impressed by Jackson's ability to lead Breadbasket, saying, "We knew he was going to do a good job, but he's done better than a good job." Jackson was soon promoted to national leader of Operation Breadbasket. King told a Chicago audience that no one could be more effective than Jackson. This was dated January 6, 1968. That's the year that Martin Luther King was assassinated. Months later from there. Despite King's praises of Jackson's work, a few days before King's assassination, he criticized Jackson for following his own agenda rather than supporting the group. Jackson, hurt by his mentor's disapproval, told him everything's going to be all right. King angrily replied that everything was not going to be all right and that he needed Jackson and all of the SCLC staff to work toward a common vision for America. King and Jackson reconciled in Memphis, Tennessee, after King called Jackson in Chicago and asked him to join him. "Hi, Jess." Jackson was talking with King from below the balcony of the Lorraine Motel when King was killed. After King's death in April 1968, Jackson continued to run Operation Breadbasket, following in King's footsteps. He was an ordained Baptist minister. Newspaper articles after King's death called him King's successor and wrote of him as the most persuasive black leader on the national scene, emerging rights leader. Despite tensions among the SCLC leadership, Jackson stayed with SCLC until 1971 when he formed his own organization, People United to Save Humanity, or PUSH. In 1984, Jackson founded the National Rainbow Coalition, a social justice organization, and sought the Democratic Party's presidential nomination, winning 3.5 million votes and helping to register 1 million new voters. In his second bid for the nomination in 1988, Jackson won several primaries before being defeated by Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. In 1996, the National Rainbow Coalition merged with PUSH to form the Rainbow PUSH Coalition. Jackson's latest organization, the Wall Street Project, continues Operation Breadbasket's mission to create economic opportunities for minorities. So Jesse basically he had a large impact, very large impact on the movement. Jesse Jackson's helped normalize black presidential viability, national level black political fundraising, coalition politics beyond race. He was one of the first modern figures to push the idea that marginalized communities needed not just protests, but political infrastructure. And that matters because movements without political strategy often stall. Whether you admired him or critiqued him, his fingerprints are all over modern American politics. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Hello, Miss Purple. I'm going to ask y'all a question. What's the first thing y'all think of when you hear Jesse Jackson's name? Just put it in the comments. Did he inspire you? Did you see him differently? How should history remember him? I'll wait. But what is the first thing you think of when you hear Jesse Jackson's name? Adventurous, you said civil rights. Okay. Did he inspire you? Did you see him differently? How should history remember him? Automatic tax returns, said Hunter College. Camille says, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Adventurous You said Black history. Kathy says leadership. Barbara says activism. All of these things are him. They're him. Dawn said civil rights. Mr. Phillips said rainbow people. All of those things are applicable and more. Let me share a little something else with you. This is a little quote from The Guardian from 2015. Said Jesse Jackson, I did not always agree with Malcolm X, specifically his critiques of Martin Luther King Jr. and of the philosophy of nonviolent resistance, but I have always admired Malcolm the man. He was a giant. His courage pierced the darkness of racism, and his life story is still an inspiration. See, many people figured that Malcolm and Martin were like night and day. And to a certain degree, they were. Here we had Martin that was, turn the other cheek, peaceful protest. Martin was like, by any means necessary. But they finally came together and realized a common goal. And I think part of it had to do with Malcolm taking that trip to Mecca when he saw white people, black people of all races that shared the same belief as him. That was his wake-up call. So basically, we've got a lot of answers as to what his name reminds you of, or what you think of when you hear his name. Millionaire's Cove says how his campaign shattered racial barriers. Okay, Barbara. Barbara said Jesse had a baby with one of my classmates. Okay. We not trying to drag the mess in here, Barbara. He was human. Let's just say he was human. Miss Purple said togetherness is one. Dawn says I think of a pastor as well. Automatic tax return said very handsome. He made a speech there. I was there. He was impressive. Yes, Millionaire's Cove. Millionaire's Cove says, I also loved how his 1984 and 1988 presidential campaigns proved black candidates could compete nationally, paving the way for Barack Obama. Absolutely. That's a wonderful reflection right there. Wonderful. Well, let's see what Al has to say about the passing. We're going to see what Al Sharpton has to say about the passing of Jesse.
The world continues to mourn the death of civil rights leader Jesse Jackson this morning. Reverend Al Sharpton addressed the press this hour on Jackson's death. Here's a bit of what he had to say just moments ago.
On a broader level, Jesse Jackson changed American politics. Jesse Jackson changed the civil rights movement. He was a consequential and transformative figure. And he changed New York politics. Let me go in that order. One, it was when Dr. King was killed in '68. He was talking to Jesse Jackson and Ben Branch over the rail at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. And Reverend Jackson was literally one of the two last people to speak to him. I always wondered how much trauma that must have been for him to witness Reverend King's assassination. He never would talk about it too much, but it drove him. He kept saying, we got to keep Dr. King's dream alive. He was 12 years younger than King, as I was 13 years younger than him. And he would always challenge me that your generation's got to do what John Lewis and all of us that were younger than Dr. King did. He kept the movement going by keeping the economic boycotts of Operation Breadbasket going, by dealing with diversity, by fighting for affirmative action.
I'm sorry, hold on a second.
You must remember when the late 70s and 80s, when Reaganism rose and there was this backlash on civil rights. Jesse Jackson took the front with John Lewis and others to restore what Dr. King had done. We romanticized the 60s like they were never challenged. They were challenged.
They most definitely were challenged. And even our kids don't even know just how challenged they were. And when I say they, I mean all black people that participated in that struggle. Now, every now and then you might see a little clip here and there when they're hosing the kids down in the streets like dogs, or sicking the dogs on black people as they peacefully protested. And when they did peaceful protests back then, they were nothing like they are now. They were literally peaceful. They sang songs. They didn't taunt the police, because the police had full reign, similar to what ICE is doing right now. And the outrage that people see now, that was a normal thing back then. The police behaved like ICE does right now. See, it took very strong, courageous black people to lay their lives on the line so black people can have the right to protest in the street and speak their minds. They didn't have that back then. And people don't realize that. They're outraged at everything that ICE is doing right now. But do you realize that those images that you saw going on in Minnesota, that was a normal thing down in the South during the Civil Rights Movement? And they did it to everybody black. If you was in the way, you was in the way. If you were a kid, you gonna get it just like a grown person. So times really have changed, but people don't realize how blessed they are. Absolutely automatic. As young as 4, mowing them down in the street with those water hoses, sicking dogs on them. And our leaders, especially Jesse, was out there in the forefront taking them hits.
We had to renew the Voting Rights Act every 5 years. We had to deal with state laws. And it was Reverend Jackson that did that into our era.
And that was Reverend Al Sharpton talking about and remembering Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died today at the age of 84. Al Sharpton says Jackson kept the civil rights movement going. And we are continuing to follow the story here for you all day on CBS News 24/7. In fact, here's more on the life and legacy Jackson leaves behind.
The people must unite to save humanity.
Yeah. The preacher, civil rights activist, and presidential candidate was born in Greenville, South Carolina in 1941.
I was born next door to a white church. I could only attend as a janitor.
In his 20s, Jesse Jackson gained national attention as an aide to Martin Luther King Jr. and a leader of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference.
A shot cracked out from across the street, dropping him to the floor.
He was in Memphis on April 4th, 1968, when King was assassinated.
The white people's best friend is dead.
King's murder sparked tension between Jackson and other civil rights leaders as they struggled over who would lead their movement. Ultimately, Jackson launched his own organizations that later became the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Rainbow Push Coalition. Oh my goodness. Millionaires Cove said, without his groundwork, later breakthroughs in representation and coalition politics might have taken much longer. I'm sure they would have. If there was no Jesse, there would have been no Obama. If there was no Obama, there would have been no Kamala. You see what I'm saying?
Still advocating today for black economic and political empowerment.
We shall fight this institutional racism wherever we see it.
He also became an international hostage negotiator. In 1984, he helped win the release of an American pilot from Syria. Later, he'd broker freedom for Americans held in Cuba, Iraq, and Kosovo.
To the White House!
His activism and diplomacy buoyed Jackson's first campaign for president in 1984.
We do not just need a new president, we need a new direction. Our leaders are talking too little to too many leaders in this world.
Jackson ended up placing a stronger than expected third in the Democratic primary. In 1988, his second campaign focused on increasing government spending and U.S. support for the Third World. But he came up short once again.
We must never surrender. America will get better and better.
After campaign politics, Jackson was a talk show host and was an early supporter, but occasional critic, of Barack Obama's presidential bid, famously photographed in Chicago's Grant Park on election night,
There you go.
2008.
That broke my heart right
Initially
there.
diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, Jackson revealed in 2025 he'd been battling progressive supranuclear palsy, a long-term degenerative brain condition. But his public appearances continued, more as a supporter of a new generation of activists
In the filibuster.
fighting for voting rights, fair housing, and police reform. Echoing the same message he spent years preaching.
Mr. Phillips said it was a blueprint for all black people. I only wish all black people paid attention to that blueprint. We live in a different time now. We really do. And I'm not saying all black people. By no means do I mean that. But it's something that we need to really start instilling in these younger people. These young kids don't know jack. Because they're not teaching. They're not teaching them the history. Our history is rich. They're not just stories. They're the basis of where these kids are headed. And we don't want them to take it for granted. We got a man in the White House right now that wants to take all that away. He wants to take it all away. Throw us right back into when they were mowing kids down in the street, mowing black folks down in the street with water hoses. That's where he wants us to be. And if we don't pay attention, we could definitely backpedal. If people don't pay attention and guard what we've already established, it can easily be backpedaled.
Can't stop us now. Moving on up. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
In a statement, the Jackson family says, quote, his unwavering belief in justice, equality, and love uplifted millions, and we ask you to honor his memory by continuing the fight for the values he lived by. All services commemorating Jackson's life will be held in his home city of Chicago. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, Washington.
And that was a look there at the legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson, who again died today at the age of 84. Thanks to Ed O'Keefe for that report.
Yes. So today basically marks the end of an era. The generation that marched in the 60s, that stood shoulder to shoulder in the streets and in churches and in courtrooms, is slowly passing on. And history is actually shifting. Now, Jesse Jackson, he wasn't perfect, but he was present. And he was visible. He was loud when it wasn't safe to be loud. And whether people loved him or criticized him, he moved the political needle. Rest in power, brother. Millionaire's Cove says it makes me so sad to see our generation now not understanding what our forefathers had to endure to get us where we are, and how quickly they are trying to push us back 100 years. You hit the nail on the head, sweetie. Well, like I said, I wasn't going to hold you guys up all night. So let me just play a little something for you before we close out this live. Hold on a second. This is an excerpt of Jesse Jackson's keynote address at the Democratic National Convention in 1988. Hold on just a second.
Graham from my hand.
I'm
My mother, a working.
Let me start it to the beginning.
Jesse Jackson, you don't understand my situation. You'll be on television. You don't understand. I see you with the big people. You don't understand my situation. I understand. You see me on TV, but you don't know the me that makes me me. They wonder why does Jesse run? Because they see me running for the White House. They don't see the house I'm running from. I have a story. I wasn't always on television. Writers were not always outside my door. When I was born late one afternoon, October 8th, in Greenville, South Carolina, no writers asked my mother her name. Nobody chose to write down our address. A mama was not supposed to make it, and I was not supposed to make it. You see, I was born to a teenage mother who was born to a teenage mother.
So don't let folks fool you. A lot of older folk, we got to get out of this. Oh, these young folks is just running rampant. Let's be real about it. Some of us was running rampant back then too. He was born to a teenage mother who had been born to a teenage mother. So that ain't nothing new under the sun. And I say all that because we seem to be depicted as people that just can't seem to get it together and hold a man or hold a woman. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we're just running amok out there. Having babies, all these welfare babies. Everybody ain't on welfare. Just because you a teenage mother doesn't make you a failure. And he certainly wasn't a failure. Hello, Polly. I just wanted to throw that in there because I get tired of hearing people talking about all these teenage mamas. Not all teenage mamas are failures.
I understand. I know abandonment and people being mean to you and saying you're nothing and nobody and can never be anything. I understand. Jesse Jackson is my third name. I'm adopted. When I had no name, my grandmother gave me her name. My name was Jesse Burns till I was 12. So I wouldn't have a blank space. She gave me a name to hold me over. I understand when nobody knows your name. I understand when you have no name.
Oh boy, that rung a bell with me. That rung a bell with me right there. It was my grandparents that the same thing that his grandmother did for him is what my grandparents did for me. Because that's what grandparents did back then. They pick up the pieces and pick them up and give them some dignity. Oh, Jesus.
I understand. I wasn't born in the hospital. Mama didn't have insurance. I was born in the bed at house. I really do understand. Born in a 3-room house, bathroom in the backyard, slop job by the bed, no hot and cold running water. I understand. Wallpaper used for decoration? No, for a windbreaker. I understand. I'm a working person's person. That's why I understand you, whether you're black or white. I understand work. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Nope.
I had a shovel programmed for my hand. My mother, a working woman. Some of the days she went to work early, with runs in her stockings. She knew better, but she rolled runs in her stockings so that my brother and I could have matching socks and not be laughed at school. I understand. At 3 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, we couldn't eat turkey because Mama was preparing somebody else's turkey at 3 o'clock. We had to play football to entertain ourselves. And then around 6 o'clock, she would get off the Alta Vista bus and we would bring up the leftovers and eat our turkey, leftovers, the caucus, the cranberries, around 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
I really do understand. Every one of these funny labels they put on you, those of you who are watching this broadcast tonight in the projects, on the corners, I understand. Call you outcast, low down, you can't make it, you're nothing, you're from nobody, subclass, underclass. When you see Jesse Jackson, when my name goes in nomination, your name goes in nomination. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. And it wasn't born in you, and you can make it. Wherever you are tonight, you can make it. Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. In the end, faith will not disappoint. You must not surrender. You may or may not get there, but just know that you're qualified and you hold on and hold out. We must never surrender. America will get better and better. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. On tomorrow night and beyond. Keep hope alive. I love you very much. I love you very much.
Ooh-wee. Well, y'all, we got to keep hope alive. He's not here anymore, but we still got to keep it. We got to keep it pushing. We got to keep hope alive. And that goes from not just us, but passing it down to our kids and our grandchildren. Because who else is going to do it? The schools certainly ain't going to do it. Schools is trying to take out a lot of our history. They don't want them to know what we dealt with. They don't want to feel ashamed of their own actions. And it's not even today's people that did those things. But when you try to cover up, it always manages to surface its head up elsewhere. But look, like I said earlier, I don't want to keep y'all up. I don't want to keep you up late. But I just wanted to give this tribute to a great man who happened to look like my father. But rest in power, brother. Rest in power. I thank you guys for being here tonight. And if you found any value in this discussion, please hit the like button. It don't cost you a thing. We'll continue to cover the historical moments of this country in real time. But we got to teach our kids. We really do. We can't hide them from it any longer. So with that said, y'all, have a wonderful evening. And again, I thank you guys all for coming tonight. And keep hope alive. God bless y'all. Good night.
Hey there, my kinfolk. Thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we cover it all. Sharing laughs and thoughts, having a runs deep as the sea. Thank you for being here, for sharing your time with each comment, with each rhyme. You're my kinfolk, my family, my crew. So much love to all of you. Turn up the camera, let's make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.